Splitting the screen. So this is another thing that I said that I would tell you about later on in the presentation. Split window allows you to split your screen into anywhere between 2 and 6 ways. So I'll hit the split window here to show you. You can split it in half vertically or horizontally. You can split it 3 ways, 4 ways, 5, 6. I'm going to split 4 ways, and I'm going to do them evenly. So I'll just click here. And now I have this little activity, which is just a money counting activity, available in each one of these screens. Now, if this is something that you're interested in doing, you need to, and I'm going to open up the page browser so this makes a little bit more sense. Remember, window, page browser. Now I have my page browser open here. When you split the window, it basically will just start splitting from the page that you're on forward in your presentation. So I'm going to click here in this box, and you can see that it's highlighting page 22 in my presentation. If I click on this next one, you'll see it will highlight page 23 in my presentation. And this will be page 24, and this will be page 25. So if you want an identical activity for each of these 4 quadrants, you're going to need to clone. So if I right-click on one of my pages, I'll go up to page 22. If I right-click on this page in my page browser, I can clone that page. So then my exact same activity will be on the next page, and I've done that 4 times. So I've had the exact same activity available on page 22, page 23, page 24, and page 25. And now I can activate. Here's my multiple input button. I'm still in language arts. If I was really doing this, I'd probably switch to math class. And I can activate group 1 in window 1. I can activate group 2 in window 2, group 3 in window 3, and group 4 in window 4. And now those groups may only work in their own window. They cannot work on top of each other. I'm going to minimize that so it's not in the way. And another thing I want to point out that I've done with this activity, here's student 1. So I have student 1 pen in my hand. Now I can actually use that student's mouse or that cursor. This activity is set up with something called infinite clone. So that object, if I had asked each group to make 30 cents, this group can make 30 cents by dragging a 25-cent or a quarter and then also a nickel. But you'll notice there's still, I'm just dragging off infinite copies of it. I can do that very easily as the teacher. That object, remember that right-click option? If I right-click on that object, there's something called, and I'll turn infinite clone off so you can see how to turn it on. There's something called infinite clone. If I click on that, that means I have an infinite number of that object. So it's great for counting money. So student 2, I could say, okay, well, you know how we made 30 cents, how group 1 made 30 cents. Group 2, show me a different way to make 30 cents. So then they could take 3 dimes. Oops, and that infinite clone happens to be turned off. But if infinite clone was turned on, I could drag 3 dimes, and then group 3 and group 4 could do it all different ways. So I'm going to move on here for sake of time, and I am going to get my window back up here. I want all of my students to be deactivated, so I'm going to hit the X on all of their toolbars so they're done. And then I want to get back to single page. So I'm going to click on my last page here, which is page 25, and I'm going to go up here where it says single page, and now I'll get out of the split window and I'm back to single page. I'm going to go forward a slide. And the very last thing I'll show you is with these student pens, and in AVer Plus, you have the ability to create group response questions. And I call them group response questions because my pens are assigned to groups. So it's a great collaborative activity. I will go to, I've created this question in advance, but I just want to show you really quickly how I did it. I go to GRS, Edit Vote Page. This window automatically pops up. I can write any question I want in this window here. I can write any answers that I want here, and I have the option of making it multiple choice or true, false. This one is multiple choice, so I have this option selected. It's multiple choice. I can choose to have one single correct answer, or I can choose to have multiple correct answers, but I'm going to keep this as single. And then I can choose to have my results show up as anonymously or display the group names. And I'll keep it to display the group names. And these are just some fun little, there's a countdown and then a way to indicate how many students have voted. So I just check the correct answer. And then if I want to add or get rid of answers, I can use these plus or minus buttons here. And then once the question is set up, I hit OK, which my question's already set up, and I don't want to edit anything on that. So I'm going to hit Cancel. Now I can start the quiz. So I just go to this little tool that says GRS, which is Group Response System. Select that, and I can now start it. And again, your pens need to be off of the charger for them to be recognized up here. And this is my language arts class taking the group response question. I'll hit start. I'm going to get my little countdown here. And then I'm going to move this out of the way here. But you'll notice that as each student votes, this little indicator is going to show more and more people voting, and also they'll get a little blue square around them once they're done voting. So let's see. Pen 4 has voted. Pen 3 has voted. Pen 4 and Pen 2 have voted. Pen 1 has voted. And Pen 3 has now voted. Everyone has voted, and I can just hit stop once I know everyone's voted. And I can get the results here. So I know that Pen 4 was the first one to answer because they have the gold star, and they answered option 3. So they got it correct. Pen 2 came in second because they're silver, which is group 2. They also answered correct. And Pen 1 came in third, and they happened to answer wrong. Now, if I had chosen to have anonymous, these results wouldn't be showing. But I can also show a bar graph of how everyone answered and a pie graph of how everyone answered. And if I want to save this information to, have available for everyone, or excuse me, for reports later on, I can just hit Save and Close. And now I can access all the results, and by going up to Settings, that same Management option, my window will open. And now I can view all of my results. So I can get a class learning report. I can see my groups and how they answered. I can see how everyone answered the question. I've got to go to language arts here. So I can get lots of different results in my class management. I can also see student individual results by each group. So I can see that group 1, well, that seems to be acting funny, but I don't think I gave them points. So that's how you can access all of your reports for your group response questions. But if you just want a quick kind of gauge whether or not they're following along with the lesson, you can just run that quick quiz and see that the results as a pie graph, bar graph, or how quickly they responded. So that is what the group response